the symbolism of Baum's writings. Uh, kind of going to sum up everything that's been on the webpage here. But many scholars have discussed the symbolism of Baum's writings of the Oz books, and though I've only read the first two books, I'm sure it continues to follow the same sort of symbolism. But I've put a lot of work into looking through these reviews and added them to my webpage. One key aspect of Baum's writing that comes from before his career that I'm not sure if I mentioned it prior or before his career of the Oz books was he had a type of political writing style in his articles when he was in South Dakota in his newspaper job. And he was met with a lot of backlash by the people around him. And he had a quote, but this is not really exactly what he said, but it's pretty close to what he said. And he said to either read it or don't. He wasn't writing for them to read it. He was writing to express like how he felt. Kupel, one of the scholars, focused on the societal suffrage of women in the late 1890s and the early 1900s, and I agree with Kupel, and believe others should see the same way in Baum's writing that I do. The deeper meaning behind the symbols, like the gold standard being the yellow brick road, and the characters of the first book relating to the economic standings of a lot of the lower class people, were obviously captured in Baum's writings, basically off of what he saw and what he experienced in America and South Dakota when he moved out there. There was a lot of emphasis on women in Baum's writing, and you can kind of see that because back then a woman wasn't really the main character of any book, and for this book and actually the second book, eventually you find out that a woman was the main character. Along with the urge for women's rights, Baum's writing as a political fantasy uses his experiences of America to kind of shape a political stance for others to find. He's not really a political like activist, but his writing does make people kind of attract towards the women's suffrage, or at least put some emphasis on it. But all in all, how you perceive the books, whether it be a children's fantasy or a utopian government fantasy, everyone can connect and learn from the Oz series that a utopian society only works when everyone plays their part. So I think that kind of ties in with my close reading of this on kind of like individualism, symbolism of what people can do. You can see that in the first book a lot, with each of the characters kind of overcoming what they were in search of. And it doesn't really matter if you're a female or a male, but if you're a female in a male-dominated world, you are able to overcome that. Whether you're fearing that you don't have the ability to love, like the Tin Man, or a scarecrow that feels just dumb and out of place, or even a lion that has no courage. I think this book really simplifies things when it comes to being able to pull what's inside of you out. And I hope y'all enjoyed the webpage. Thank you.